So here's what's happening to people who have felt dismissed and it's going completely undiagnosed. People believe that what's happening right now in politics is just a battle of ideas and policy and morality, and it is certainly that, but it is so much more. For some, what is actually happening is a behavioral pattern I call residual resentment. And this is not a call out, we have all been here. This is a call to understanding. Residual resentment forms when something that mattered deeply to someone was never recognized. And I'll give you a clear example of this. I used to host gatherings where I brought strangers together for dinner to break bread and respectfully talk about politics and race and all the difficult stuff, you name it. And at one of my dinners, I met a young guy, we'll call him Joe, and he told me about a conflict that he had with a close friend who lost his job during the Doge cuts. You all remember those. And that friend, understandably angry, stopped speaking to Joe because Joe had voted for the current president who initiated those cuts. The only thing is, Joe told me he also lost his government job a few years earlier under the previous administration after declining a certain mandated vaccine. And he was labeled a health threat and never reinstated, even though the information used to justify that label was later deemed inaccurate. So he carried that loss quietly without sympathy or acknowledgement. So you got two people, both angry, both disillusioned by similar forms of loss and wanting acknowledgement, and yet only one of those two individuals was convinced that their situation deserved greater moral recognition. And I'm sure you can guess this left Joe carrying a lot of resentment, and he was far less willing to hear anything from the other side. See, this isn't just a culture war, it's a recognition war. And I'm not endorsing this, I'm simply describing what I've seen play out over and over again in so many of our political issues. And the reason is because some people are demanding acknowledgement for their cause while having offered little to no acknowledgement to the cause of others. And so this pendulum swings back and forth, and the resentment grows deeper each time until we're no longer arguing about policy, we're responding from built-up frustration. Now, there are those who have never taken the time to listen to what may have gone unacknowledged in the life of someone they've simply deemed hateful or heartless or even just uncaring. And I want to leave you with this verse. I'm sorry, I'm slurring my words. It is so cold out here. The verse is James 1:19, and it says, everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. So my question is, who are the people in your life that you've never taken the time to ask why? Why do you feel the way you feel? And until we learn to listen long enough to recognize ways in which people have felt unheard, this cycle will keep repeating itself. Grace and peace.